Welcome back to another edition of the Bold Prediction Sports Media Podcast, a parlay edition, I might add. I'm that dude with the beard. He's Mr. KC from the 813, and we're here with some more content for thee. Mr. KC, what's going on, my G?
Hey, we're getting into it. We like to talk sports betting on this show. We're going to give you our dedicated parlays that we want to bring to you folks. Talk about the sports bets of the week. Dedicated show where we're talking nothing but money. Because you know what we like to do is make money during the week. And this is our little part-time job, is bringing y'all entertainment and filling our pockets with these sports bets. I do
And
want to
then,
let you. I do want to let you
no,
know we're going to talk in units. So a unit is when you do a bankroll management. If you got $1,000, you're going to break that $1,000 up into 10 units and make each bet based off of unit based. So if you hear us talk about units, we're going to be talking about it in the $100 form. It could be a $20 unit. Don't overbet your skis. Don't go deeper than what your bankroll will allow you. Sometimes a unit could be $1,000 depending on your bankroll. So we're not going to discuss our personal bankrolls and how much we like to bet on the games. So we'll do it in the $100 format, which is standard for betting.
boom. Couldn't have said it better myself. In the words of my boy Cactus Jack, bang, bang. I could have done it better. I could have done it better. But yeah, no matter what site you're using here, and we'll dive into some. I would almost want to call them a fantasy parlay, but that almost one in a million shot. We don't do too many legs on these things because it ain't a centipede. You don't need too many legs to walk. Um, we got a couple things that was going to come down the pipe with on this one. Straight bets, of course. Certain player parlays, DraftKings, BetMGM. We can jump into all of that. We go over a few odds. Mr. KC is going to guide the way. He's our guiding light. Let's do it, Mr. KC.
Well, folks, there's a lot of games on the list. Of course, the Buccaneers versus the Falcons. This is actually a pretty straight up game. I don't think there's ton of value on either side of picking this game personally.
Right. I would almost even leave it off
Yeah.
if we were even gonna consider bets. Because for one, they're both too fringe to determine a definite winner, even though me and Mr. Casey is split on the week when we came down to this pick. And that's just because there's not a clear definitive winner. If you're hopeful, you can throw it on another leg of a parlay, but like I said, I wouldn't do it. That'd be the one to
Mm-mm.
ruin to spoil the bunch. So you probably just want
Yeah.
to leave that alone.
Yeah, that is a way to destroy and it's really not a huge value add to add it to a parlay. It doesn't take away value. There is value there, but not a ton. Now, this is one that you've predicted an upset about, so I think we should bring it up. Now, this is going to be the Lions versus the Bears game, and the Bears are a plus 145, so the Lions are a 3.5 point favorite. They leaves you a little bit of value for an underdog if you wanted to get the Bears onto the parlay. Now, are you feeling confident enough to put the Bears on a parlay there?
I am honestly. And it's the reason why last week, just to give you some insight on what I did, I put a parlay on the Cardinals, even though I picked them to lose. But sometimes you just got to look at the scheme and you got to look what's going on. And sometimes you got to trust that feeling that stirs in you. And then you go and put money on the Cardinals and you end up winning. I get that kind of same feeling when I look at this Lions Bears game. I think the Lions are going to make the mistake like we often do in Kansas City. Uh, not overlooking opponents, but kind of overlooking them. So I think the Bears can sneak and win this game, and they can sneak and put some money in your pocket.
Yeah, and that's why this is a do not touch game for me. As a person that has picked the Lions to win, I'm kind of going to avoid betting this particular game just because the Bears have that potential upset, and there's not a ton of value on the Lions, picking the Lions. And really, I'm not a huge fan of this one at a plus 145 for an upset. I just feel like there should be a little bit more meat on the bones for Bears to be picking if you're going to pick that upset.
But that's just one leg. That's one leg of your straight up parlay.
Yeah.
You can note that for me. First leg of the parlay, I'd pick the Bears in that one, and this will just be a little. It'll be a short unit, not even a big unit, but we'll get into it.
Right. Yeah, because you could do a fractional unit here, folks. You know, if
Yeah,
you instead of you can do a half, a quarter of a unit. Like, don't be
yeah,
afraid.
yeah, yeah.
The only time I
Quarter
try to
unit get you some good money, man.
yeah, the what I try to avoid is doing too much more than a unit on a particular bet. That way you kind of stay level headed and you
Right.
don't blow your whole like you don't go, well, I'll throw
You want to
three
spread it
units on
out.
it. Like and then you're not sticking to a system. And you wanna stick to a safe system to continue your pockets. Let me
Continue
see.
pocket growth is the goal. No matter what the winning is, continue the growth in the pocket. All profit is keyword profit.
I like this is the game that I think I'm going to build my parlay off of. And I had actually picked the opposite team to win. That's going to be the Ravens versus the Rams. I had picked the Ravens to win this game in the weekly pick show, but there's so much value here that I can feel the upset with the Rams looking at this value. I feel like there's so much money on the Ravens that look, they have the Rams are a plus 275 money line straight up winner. They're giving them 8 or 7.5 points on the spread. So they got to win. The Ravens got to win by more than a touchdown just to cover. But we're not talking about covering here. We're talking about our
Right.
upsets, our dogs. So let's say
Right.
your unit is $100. If you bet $100, you will win $275 plus your $100 back. So you're sitting at
Man,
375, and this just has value written all over it. This is like you find two like these, and these are my favorite two-leg parlays because it screams it to me. And the
this
other the other one that has potential, and I can see this on your parlay.
that one's
I
on mine. That's the
oh
second
this
leg of mine. I was waiting for. I was gonna let you have your moment because I agree with everything you're saying. That it's the second leg of my three legger because I'm a little more three leg folk. I like to get that third one in because it always gives you just that extra little at the end.
yeah, I'm a big I like two-leg parlays. I like to be short, and then I like the roll of the dice parlays that everyone dreams of hitting. The dream,
That's the one I'm talking about. The Fantasy Island.
yeah,
Yes, sir.
yeah. You got to throw two fantasy islands. A tenth of a unit. Don't make it a dollar into a million, folks. Don't
Right.
go crazy betting If you're betting more than three legs on a parlay, you're messing up already. Like the odds just go down so much that you don't need to do big bets on long-legged parlays. Keep them short.
Without a doubt. But definitely add that Rams over Ravens to your leg because I'm telling you that this is my first parlay for the week. It sounds like it's like Mr. Casey looked at my list almost. These are the
I
first two. I'm grouping those together because I'm calling it the upset parlay.
and I've
There's
got
one
the
more
third
leg on
one.
this. Let's
There's
talk
one
about
more
it.
leg, and I think this is it. I'm just look. This is Houdini. We're thousands of mile apart. No pregame. Is it going to be these Seahawks over the 49ers?
You know it's gonna be the Seahawks
Oh,
over the Niners. You know
s-
it.
screaming
You
value here,
know it.
folks.
You know
Screaming
it.
value. Look,
Yes, sir.
personally
Let's
with
talk
this
about
one,
it.
if I'm betting the 49ers to win this game, I will not be betting it because there's no value as a Niners fan to bet this. If you're betting on if you're picking the 49ers to win, keep this off your parlays, and it's really pointless to do a money line. If we're going to be honest, they have the 49ers as a 13-point favorite, so they're on minus 750. It takes $750 to make $100. You're risking too much to make nothing. Is the problem with this one. Okay, as a 49ers pick. But as a Seahawks fan, if you're going to be bold, which this is the name of the show, folks, bold here, and dude is
Because
being bold.
and just not to cut you off, but I got to make this point because if you call yourself gambling, you wanting to bet money, scared money never makes money. If you know they're gonna do it, you got to step out on it.
Yeah.
Mr. KC, tell go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
it is true because you're looking at a plus 525 for the Seattle Seahawks. That means, look, you bet $100, you get 525 plus your $100 back. Look, you got a $20 unit.
Man,
You
thank
just
you.
turn that
Talk to 'em.
you turn that 20 into 100, folks. Like
And
that's what
that's
we're
and
doing
that's
out
what I'm
here.
talking about. I ain't even talking about betting a full unit. Yeah, that was that 20. Turn that 20
Uh,
to 100. But let this be the third leg in the parlay that dude with the beard is building. It's about to turn a little bit into a lot of bit.
And really, what I look for to help build my bankroll are these exact type of games. Now, I will not be betting on the Seahawks. I'm just not a believer, unlike Dude here. However, these types and the Rams game, which I will be betting, the Rams game, these kind of underdog upsets are the ones you really want to kind of circle. So this is going to hit my parlay and a straight money line bet, and with a full unit on the Rams to win, just because it sees it to me. I might go half unit just because I'm going to throw more money on a parlay, but the Rams will definitely be. That's how you get the big chunks to just roll in, is those kind of things. If you go for the favorites like the 49ers in that Seahawks game, you bet those kind of games, it takes so much so you got to hit 7 of those every time with never missing to even break even. So you want to stay away from those where the odds are just, it's such a lock that, like, it's risky. It's when you find yourself, risking $100 to make 10. It's a bad. You want to risk 10 to make 100. It's the better way to do it, folks.
Exactly. Because I'm just excuse the cutout. Well, I guess we can get all this in editing. Uh, yeah. Agreeing with his point there. Turn that 10 to 100. Don't ever try to lose $100 trying to make 10. That's asinine. There's no value in that. I mean, I know profit is profit, but you're putting 90% risk over a 10% profit. Not even 10% profit, but you know what I mean. Making a dollar on you. Well, anyway, Mr. KC.
Yeah, and I gotta say, I do like the Seahawks' odds here, just because, like, look, this is another blowout type game that you will not put on a parlay. Okay, this is the ones you want to avoid. You get big odd numbers, very enticing. It attracts you. It says, "Hey, come here, pick me." Look at this, plus 575. Look at this, Titans versus the Dolphins. The Titans somehow upset and you win all this money. Problem is, they're not going to upset. It's not going to
Oh,
happen.
man.
And the reason you don't bet the Dolphins is because at any given Sunday, and you would have to make 8 of those Dolphins over the Titans bets hit, no upsets, before you make anywhere kind of close to even money. Like, it's just, you have to hit so much work. You lose so much time chasing bad bets. So leave this one off your parlay. leave it. Just toss it off there. Don't even. It's the
He's
ugly
done it.
girl. Yeah, you just don't even want to think about it.
Ooh. Mm.
And this is one that I wish would hit the Giants over the Packers. We're looking at the Giants with a plus 240. The Packers are minus 300. And minus 300 is where you really got it. That's in that territory of there's just no value here. No value. The Packers are plus 6.5 favorites, so they got to win by a touchdown. They probably do. Like, if we're going to be honest, if
Oh,
you're
they
gonna,
will.
yeah, if you're gonna bet the
Packers
spread,
back.
like that's a decent spread. Like you might just do that.
And it's just so strange to hear Mr. Casey because he's not a Jordan Love Packer aficionado, no nothing. But he
Mm.
knows, and Vegas knows, you got to put a little love in your heart. That's all you got to do. Oh, man, I love it. 2 times in
What
a row.
what about this game for you? We've got the Eagles versus the Cowboys, right? I know you win Eagles, didn't you? If I'm correct.
That I did. I did.
Well, Eagles do give you a plus 145.
Yeah, a little bit of money.
Yeah,
That's
that's not bad. There's a little bit of value. The Cowboys are going to be 3.5 point favorites, which I don't like that line. I would pick the money line.
mm-hmm.
If you're going to pick the Cowboys, I would pick that 175 of the Cowboys. And this actually might be my my little favorite two-leg parlay is might be teaming up the Rams with the Cowboys.
Mm. And see, I like that Rams pick. It's just Dallas lose these big games. And the Eagles in this money line would be a perfect part of what I would do as far as my thing where I would do another 4 leg, which is just straight wins though, when you just pick straight teams. They would be a part of that. And with that money line on the Eagles.
Yeah, yeah. So if I did the Rams and the Cowboys as a parlay money line, that would give me a plus 489 odds. So that's it's big, big, pretty much a 5 times. You're getting real close, just underneath a 5 times return on your initial investment. So if you bet $100, you're going to get 489. That's pretty close to that. 20 is going to get you 100. It's really like 20 is going to get you,
82.
96,
Yeah, you
96.
know.
Let me
Right.
let me let me double check. It's been a while since I've seen a $20 bet. Yeah, 20 would pay out 117.
Ooh,
So
wow.
it's not a bad.
No, that's not bad at all. What would be that Eagles Rams combination though on a 2 legger?
Let's pull that up. Let's pull that up.
Because I would be inclined to make a side bet out of one of the parlays. Because sometimes you can break a parlay down into minor bets too. If you're that sure about the team, make another bet on, 'em, but put some legs on it. If you're that confident about players.
Yeah, you can see, and I actually take a slightly different approach. Once I do a parlay with a team in it, I do not do any other short parlays with that team in it. So if I pick like the Cowboys and Rams for a parlay, I will not include the Rams or the Cowboys in another parlay.
Hmm.
That way if either one of those teams messes up, they can't break more than one on me.
You're right.
What do you have? You had the Rams,
And the
Eagles,
Eagles, just a 2 legger. Yeah.
just a two-legger. That's going to give you a plus 818. That's big
Mm-hmm.
money. And I really want to, for a three-leg, let's throw that Seahawks in there
Ooh, throw that
because
thing.
this is actually a big money little parlay here. For a three-legger, this actually is a kind of a nice one.
Mm-hmm.
This this is going to give you a plus 5,000 642.
Good night.
So you put a 10 spot on that, that'll give you a $574 little hit. And for a $10 three-leg parlay, that's not bad.
Look,
You
it
know,
was. It's not. It's great.
and like you put a full unit on there if you're one of those type of ballers, just not worried about a bankroll.
Because it don't make it. Hey, if it's scared, you can't do it. But only if you can afford a responsible unit. Only a
Right.
unit that you're not gonna miss that you would have got rid of taking some girl to the bar to get some Applebee's or wherever y'all go, Cheesecake Factory or Bennigan's,
Mhm.
whatever's around there. You know, a few drinks at the bar and 2 meals. You spent that unit. Now, if you're
Right.
ready to do that, but to actually get something that's gonna be a return, we talking to you.
Yeah. Yeah. And I mean that's a pretty bold. I like that for a three-legger. Folks, pay attention to that one. That is a nice Ram. Again, that's the Rams, Eagles,
And
Seahawks,
stop.
all money line. That's a nice bet. That is a pretty solid little bet there. It's not the particular one I would make, but if you're going to make it there, I mean, it had tons of value for a three-legger.
Oh yeah. And you can do that one straight up and down. No ways around. Boom blam.
Let's see.
Which I
All right,
think
let's.
will add to my list here.
All right, let me see. I'm going to build a wild one real quick with the games that I feel the most confident with. And I'm going to take the Vikings over the Raiders. That's going to be a minus 160 for the Vikings. So it's not really tons of value there. I will put the Rams in here. Now, for these long dreamers, I can throw these. I already made that bet slips back in. But that is it. Let me get my Cowboys back over the Eagles. Actually, I'm going to leave that game off my long parlay. It's got
You got
it's got
to.
it's got bad juju written all over it.
Ooh.
I'll be throwing the Dolphins on here, even though there's no value. The Packers.
Mm-hmm.
Mm,
You might as well throw Kansas City on there.
I try not to bet the Chiefs. It's too much. It allows me to enjoy the game more.
Right.
I get very disappointed when I see the Chiefs lose, and if I see the Chiefs lose and start losing units on top of it, it's a it's
Even
been a
more.
rough it's been a rough cut. Like I've been more upset at the Chiefs than they deserved because it wasn't their fault. That I was like, let me double that unit up on this one, and
Well, sure, you
they
need to throw in that Chargers over Denver then.
I kind of want to.
That's another three little two legger I'm setting up because I'm sure the Chargers. What's the odds on that? Can you give me that real quick?
Yeah, the Broncos are underdogs plus 120. So it's
What?
pretty
They're
close. This is
underdogs now?
yeah, 2.5
Oh,
point underdogs. So the
oh,
Chargers have to win by 3 for the spread. So you
never
might as well
mind.
pick the money line minus 145. I'm throwing it on there. It is
No,
it is.
it's lost its luster.
I'm going to pick the Texans over the Jets.
Of course, because see, that was going to be my next two legger, Texans and Chargers. But I didn't realize that the
Oh yeah.
Broncos are sliding back to obscurity, and so like I said, it lost the luster. That was going to be my other one. Good night. I'm glad you told me that.
And I think I want to leave the rest of these games alone. I don't really like I don't like the Bucks Falcons.
Mm.
Colts, Bengals. These are all close games too, folks. The
Well,
odds
the
are
Colts are going to win that game. They're more
yeah.
polished.
That Remington rifle boy or whatever his name was. He
Yawn.
nah. I'm not. I
All right.
want to see. I want to see more. I'm with you. I
I would
think
say love anointing these backups, boy. I swear it.
I'm just staying away from. 'Em. I'm saying I ain't seen enough tape on a lot of these backups to want to touch it. I mean
You
the
know how Uncle
Panthers.
Rico play though.
The
You
Panthers
know,
over the Saints kind of seemed like a little upsetty. Did,
well,
did,
that was gonna be a different parlay. So I I gotta
uh,
find some. Fuck it, I'm gonna pick Denver to win. Denver and
uh,
Panthers. That's gonna be my two legger. Might as well since they underdogs.
let me see. When my fantasy's not very fantasy this week. Not very fantasy.
No, it's only
Up
look like I'm gonna make that one three legger.
one,
Actually,
two, three, four, five, six. I've got a six legger here. It's very short. I don't like these games this week. I've
no, I
got the
don't either.
Rams. I've got the Rams beating the Ravens, Vikings beating the Raiders, Dolphins beating the Titans, Packers beating the Giants, Chargers beating the Broncos, and Texans beating the Jets. It's going to give me a plus 2,257. So on a fractional unit, like if you did a 20 spot, you'd win $470. So it's not a huge dreamer, and I might leave that fantasy one alone.
Yeah, leave that fantasy in the fantasy because I'm telling that whole Denver situation. Like, if you could feel the decrease in my spirit, that's how you know you should leave that bet alone because it's lackluster now. Why ain't they the favorites? They was just quote unquote one of the hottest teams, and blah 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 and blah blah blah. So when they caught that first L, like I told the world they would, then all of a sudden the luster's gone, right?
Right.
You see what I'm saying? Good night, man. Shout out to CJ Stroud, the Ohio State University, my boy, second best quarterback in the AFC right now.
So you want to throw the Texans on a parlay? Little
But
two.
of course, they'd
I
be the
like
only
that
other
one.
team I'm willing to do. I'll take the Texans. As a matter of fact, I'll even do who's the underdog? It's probably the Jags, huh? In that game.
That one was kind of close. Let me see it. And the Prince might be back. He might be
Okay,
back.
if he's back, I'm gonna throw in the Texans, and I'm gonna put. Matter of fact, because I picked the Bears still, I'm gonna
Mm.
put the Texans and the Bears on the parlay. That's my next
The
two legger. That saves
the
my spirit right there.
the Jags are underdogs.
Ooh, I'm gonna add the Jags, make it a three legger.
So we have the Jags. What was the third? Texans and
Bears.
Bears. You want to go
Yep.
Bears?
Yep.
Ooh, there's going to be some value. Plus 741. That's
Yes,
pretty good
sir.
for a three legger.
Oh
I know
yeah,
that,
especially if I only put a fifth of a unit, or maybe uh
man, that first three legger was ridiculous.
yeah,
It
because
was
that's the one that's gonna be
just,
the sweet baby. The
yeah,
Eagles,
it has
Rams,
got
Hawks.
potential. Yeah, Eagles, Rams, Hawks. That three legger, there's a lot of money in that three legger there.
So what you think about the other three? Should I narrow that down to two? I know you're not with the
Yeah,
Bears.
I'd leave I don't want the Bears on that. Even
That's
though it adds a ton of value to it.
I feel like it's a Ohio State winning weekend. I feel like both quarterbacks will win.
I like the Jags Texans. That's a plus 243.
That's not bad. What's about the Texans and Bears? What's that?
Let me see. That is going to get you a little bit more.
I know it's not.
275 or 273.
Yeah, see, you almost gotta just do that as a three legger and just put a little bread on it. Something you ain't gonna miss, but something if you hit, you're gonna be very happy that you put it down.
See, what I'd rather see you do is take that money off the Bears. It's going to be lower. This is going to be a lower odds one, but I kind of like the Vikings over the Raiders.
I kind of don't though. I think the Raiders are gonna win that game.
That's too risky for you.
Yeah, I really think the Raiders are gonna win somehow. I just something tells me they're gonna win this game. I
The
just don't.
Raiders are 3-point dogs at home. It's all right. Let's leave
So
that alone.
yeah,
Let's leave it
yeah,
alone.
yeah. I'm saying it's too
Yeah,
ugly. Yeah, that's the
that
Hawk.
is,
That's the Falcons and Bucks again.
and
It's too
that's
close.
yeah. That's what you got to. And when they're if you start feeling a little about it, just leave them alone, folks.
Leave it alone.
You don't lose if you don't place the bet.
Thank you.
It's a draw. and a draw
Right.
is a win in gambling because
There's
you have
nothing wrong with staying
yeah.
level.
Yeah, because once you place the bet, the money's already gone. So a
It's
draw
done.
is a win. And so if you can get that free draw, don't be afraid to take it. If you don't fill the bet, do not do it. Only bet what you feel comfortable to do. And that's what we tried to make sure we instill in you. Don't bet your rent money, your grocery money. If you got kids, be extra cautious. This better be fun money. You better have your water bill, your light bill, all them bills paid. No excuses. We don't condone skipping responsibilities to be out here trying to make money. There's 1,001 ways to do it. In the description below is a link to the stock market, to the Webull app. You can join Webull, get free stocks just for signing up. Don't have to buy anything, just signing up, get your free stocks. It's another way to gamble, a little more safer. Don't be afraid to find a different way. Well, that was interesting. We had you sideways for a minute. And that's what will happen if you don't bet responsibly. You will be sideways. We like to keep you straight. Yeah, and there's just a few little parlays, a little straight ups to think about and try to decide which one you like more. And make sure you leave in the comments which pick, which game are you considering, which games do you want to bet. How are you feeling? Do you guys want prop bets? Maybe we'll bring you prop bets next time. Who do we think is gonna be over or under on passing yards and whatnot? We can do some prop bets too. Um, there's a lot of things to look at and decide there. The best way to do it is to find ones you feel comfortable with, and these are all our own opinion. Don't be afraid to make your own money, and don't blame us if we lose and don't win your money, because you don't share it when you win, and you can't pay it up when you lose. So don't be afraid to do that. And speaking of gambling, something that we want to do, anybody that does super chats will be entered into a raffle. We'll do a 50-50 deal where super chats at the end of the month get put into a raffle. And, if you put it, every entry is $1. So if you do a super chat for $1, 50 cents of that will go into the pot. And at the end of the month, whoever wins will take home the pot. So don't forget to get your little super chats in.
And also, if we get enough super chats and get enough of these things going, we got authenticated signed items from certain players who are currently dominating the NFL. I have a
Yep.
signed jersey in my closet right now, authenticated, everything, stickers, everything, cards, everything, for a man who's on his way to 2,000 yards in the season. So
Yep.
we got prizes, ladies and gentlemen. This is memorabilia here. This is Hall of Fame level. I probably shouldn't put it up, but hey, if we get
You're right.
enough, I'm willing to let it go. Come holler at
Yeah.
us.
And
We
we got
don't.
sports cards too. We also do that. We can get you a Joe Burrow rookie card. Are you looking for that Justin Herbert? You looking for the
That
Sherbert?
just what
Are you looking
man.
for that? We can get that into the mail for you, and all sorts of stuff. But don't forget, again, super chats will get entered into a raffle, and we might pick a couple winners because we're trying to give back to our fans.
Man,
And
for sure.
don't be afraid, folks.
Without a shadow of a doubt. And as always, gamble responsibly.
Right.
Bet
Yeah,
what you
we'll definitely
can.
get that gamble
Bet
responsibly.
and bet proper units on proper bets. Don't just be out here betting money just because you had a little extra. Try to make that money. Make some money.
Yeah, so leave your comments what your favorite bet was. Look, we have another Bold Drunk episode coming up. We have one recommendation so far of Bullet Rye. Only one. We need another one. What are we drinking, folks?
Please
You
come on.
tell us.
Come on, y'all watching? Just leave it in the comments, man. Don't watch and not comment and tell us what you're drinking. If you ain't drinking, say, hey, I don't drink. But leave it in the comments. Let us know because we're trying to set up the next, like the boy Dr. Dre said, the next episode.
Right. Well, we appreciate you folks, and make sure you enjoy your betting weekend.
Stay safe.